how do you avoid getting a messy sketch down? Now, in my opinion, there's two different ways of sketching. It's like, one is messy and it looks really bad. Sketching is always messy. Like, to be clear here, like, the whole point of sketching is to have, like, a messier piece of art than the final product. But then the second version of sketching is like, okay, it's messy, but it's also like, it looks clean and coherent. Like, it obviously doesn't look finished. That's the whole point of a sketch. But it looks clean and coherent. So in this video, I'm going to break down a few ways that I actually make my sketches look relatively clean and coherent. And without any further ado, we're going to dive right into it. Alright, so to start us off right here, I just want to bring up a few of my old drawings here. Now, you know, it's kind of cringe. I hate looking at my old art, but I do want to show you like a few of the things that you don't want to have. So, okay, let me just pull it up here. Basically, these are some of my old drawings from like February 2024. And there's a lot of shit that's going wrong here, but I think a lot of it comes down to just, I don't have a good understanding of the subject that I'm drawing. Now, there's also like a lot of chicken scratches, not intention in each line, and these are the things that I want to talk about in this video. Because after like actually learning more about art, getting better at it, this is like a sketch that I did yesterday, and I feel like it's a lot cleaner than it used to be. Now, I'd consider this more than a sketch right here, but whatever. Like, that also has shading. But this right here, I'd consider this like a sketch, maybe a bit of line art. And like, here's some other drawings where I find it just looks a lot more clean now. Now, that one might not be a sketch or whatever. And I'd consider this one right here more like sketch line art, but you get the point where these drawings that I do look a lot more clean than they used to. So, in this video, we're just going to go over how do I actually do that. And we will be using this reference today. So I'll just be drawing it on this piece of paper here. And I always start off my sketches with a little circle. And I draw my circles with a ruler just because I find it helps me keep it all like balanced and even more. I know, it's like kind of weird, like, oh, circle with a ruler? Like, isn't that for straight lines? But you can basically just like get the proportions of your circle down a lot better if you use a ruler for it. Just think of it almost like connect the dots. Like, I basically am just like connecting the dots that the ruler put down. Now, it is in a circular motion, so whatever, it's kind of harder, but you do get used to it. And this video, it's not about like actually how to draw the human body or head. Rather, it's about like how to get a good sketch. So I'm not going to spend too much time explaining like the nitty gritty details of like, okay, how do you actually draw the human figure or whatever? Because, you know, that's like a whole nother topic in itself. But basically, I'm just like putting down some lines right here for like the hairline, the nose line, the eyebrow line, the chin line. And I'm getting like a rough sketch of the human head down. And the reason why that my sketch is actually already looking way cleaner than it used to before is just because I have a good understanding of the subject that I'm drawing. I've like studied like how to draw the human head many times, so me drawing it for like, I don't even know how many times. This is probably like in the several thousands right now, how many times I've drawn the human head. So it's just like, okay, I have a really good understanding, therefore I know what mistakes not to make. That is a huge part of it. It's like, if you have a good understanding of what you're drawing, then you'll understand what mistakes not to make. And that's like half the reason why your drawings look really bad and like really messy right now. Like, just like looking back right here, I had no clue what I was doing. I was like scratching over all my old drawings and everything. But now that I've done this like 2,000, 3,000, whatever more times, it's just, I don't know, I actually never counted it. But it's just like, now I know what not to do. And you know what, I want to make another point right now. I find that when my mechanical pencil lead is not like, doesn't have a full stick in there. You know how mechanical pencils, like the lead will like come like in and out or whatever when it's not a full stick? When my lead is doing that, I swear my drawings get like 10 times messier. So make sure you have like a full thing of lead in your pencil if you're using a mechanical one as well. That's just like a little bonus tip I'll give you here. So there we go. We got the lead back. And another thing that I'm doing right now is I'm just having intention in each line that I do. I make sure that whatever line I'm doing, I understand this has an intention, this has a point. I'm not putting down like any random lines that don't really have a point. Now sure, you know what? Sometimes that can help you with your style or whatever, but I think it's a good habit to get into to understand what you're actually doing. Like, okay, what is this line right here? That line will be for the top of the ear. And then you just connect it, like each line has a purpose there. Something that you can understand as well is that you notice how I put a thick line there, but then the line's not very prominent right there. That's just because you can understand that this line will go to that line. It's like, you don't actually have to do like a full thick line, rather just thick areas, and then maybe very minimum there, and you'll understand that these two connect. Like, you understand that that is the jawline going to the chin, yet there's not even a line there. Think about that. I mean, if there is, it's very minimal line, but it's just like, you don't actually need a line for everything. And you know, this is where it gets kind of messier because I'm doing a rough circle for the rib cage right here. So I just have like a basic understanding of where approximately it's gonna be. And I decided that I don't actually want the middle line there. So basically this is just like basically where the spine is, what that line is. And then, yeah, and you will make mistakes. The idea is like the more you do it, the less mistakes you'll make. So obviously I'm still making mistakes right now as well. But you just make sure you learn from them. Like now I learned, okay, I don't really want my like spine line going like that. And if you just observe your like subject and your drawing for a little bit, like prior to bring this over here, then you can just observe this drawing first, or your reference, whatever you're using. So then you would be like, okay, wait, this line right here for, what is it even called? Something on the back, whatever. This line on the back, it lines up to like a little bit past the ear. And then you can make sure that you line that up a little bit past the ear in your actual drawing, like right there. So always be comparing things. And I think the biggest point is literally just have intention in each line. If you have intention and you have a good understanding of what you're drawing, then your sketches will look a lot cleaner. I find also just using like a smaller mechanical pencil lead works as well. Now obviously if you're like really beginner at drawing and you're using a small lead, it's not going to be like the be all and end all fix. But I do find that it will help you a lot. Just like, imagine if I was using a big pencil right now. It just wouldn't, you could imagine it just wouldn't look as coherent and clean. So that's what I just like doing there. And we're actually like finishing up the structure of the body right now. Just put that arm back there and you'll understand that sometimes you might not even see the arm. Like the arm is approximately right there, or like the shoulder is approximately right there. The arm goes up, you won't actually see it. It goes right behind. I find that makes it look a lot more dynamic as well. So now that we have like a rough sketch of the body, what we're just gonna do is we're gonna sketch the details on top of it. And every time I sketch the details, I'll always like zoom into the reference. Now, another point is don't get too lost in the details either. It'll basically make it look like maybe one area looks really good, but then when you zoom out, the whole piece looks really bad. What I try to do to avoid that is I'll like draw like both eyes at the same time, and that applies to anything you're drawing to. Like draw both ears at the same time if we could see the other ear there. I actually almost forgot the eyebrows here. With eyebrows, another good point is treat the eyebrows as like a general shape. So instead of like drawing each little hair on the eyebrow, just treat the eyebrow as like, that was actually really, really long there. Let me get my eraser. But like just treat it as like one shape going like that. And then maybe like a little tail at the end there. Now we'll draw the eye right here. And you'll notice that there's some parts that are darker in my drawing and some that are a lot lighter. We want to make sure that we have like the contrast between the dark and light, not just with shading, but also with the lines that we're doing. Like you'll notice that the top of the chin here is going to be darker than the middle right there. I find lines that are like connecting two things together should be a lot darker in my opinion. But then things that are just like, okay, when I say connecting two things together, I mean like the ends of them connecting, like the end right here, the end right there. These two should be darker than in the middle. I guess I could be kind of confused with like, okay, should you do the middle one darker? Generally, it's like the end lines that I find you should be darker. Now we'll draw the clothing on here. So like, if you don't know, you should always draw clothing last. Like get the structure of the body down and then draw the clothing on top of it. Which it takes a lot of training to like see the bodily structure before you actually do that. So yeah, this is why like honestly it takes a lot of practice to get a nice clean sketch down. And you'll notice that I'm actually drawing my lines relatively fast there as well. Like if you draw your line too slow, it might not look as clean. Whereas if you do like a quick, like here, you know, let's see right here, like a quick flick like that, that's gonna look cleaner. I find it gives it a lot more like energy and flow as well. Now like one of my favorite parts is the hair right here. So again, treat the hair as like general shapes. And now we're just adding a few more details on the eyes and whatever. Get like, I guess this could be technically, oh, you know, that's way too thick right there. This could technically be considered more than a sketch at this point because I'm doing the line art, but just like freshening it up. So also the outline of things, it should be darker than the lines on the inside of the things. That's just another tip I'll give. And yeah, I mean like this is pretty much just finishing up the drawing here. Doing like the last little details. Well, I'm not gonna lie, I actually don't like that eye there. I'm gonna fix it all up. Yeah. And if you flip your paper around and look at it in the light, then you can see the mistakes that you've made. So yeah, I find that one helps me a lot too, because you get so used to looking at a drawing in one way, and then you don't actually see the mistakes that you made in the past. So that's pretty much just my tips that I can give you on like, okay, how do you get a better sketch down? I mean, it looks kind of shit when you have like sketches that look really like, I don't know, really messy, like lots of chicken scratching I saw that I did here, like just like, if you don't know what chicken scratching is, it's like when you're scratching the lines. This was a while ago now. I didn't really have a good understanding of what I was drawing. And yeah, like compared to some newer drawings that I've been doing, I find it's a lot better. I mean, like that's not a lot better. These are a lot better. So basically the big takeaway here is just have a better understanding of what you're drawing, chicken scratch less, and have intention in each line. So like each line that I drew here, I had an intention in. Like, I don't know, this line was to be for the hair. This line was to show the shoulder line or whatever. It's not like I had any like random like scratchy lines that were going like that or whatever. Like some people will do like scratching lines like that. So I didn't do any of that. It will make your drawing look a lot more clean. Now again, it takes practice. But anyways, if you do like this video, make sure to subscribe to this channel, and thank you for watching.